Alright fellas, so it is Tuesday. This is the vlog number 4 and I've been out quoting. I know I should have got some footage yesterday, but it was busy enough with work and I just didn't really have the time to go for it. So I've actually stopped off here because I needed to pick up something. This is Indispension Trailers in Mollusk in Belfast. Some of you guys will know it, for the local guys that watch the channel anyway. This is where I go for any of my parts and supplies if I need anything for the trailers that I've had over the years. So I needed to pick up a jockey wheel today, and while I was in here I've been kind of talking to Johnny. He's famous now for getting a shout out, and I've been looking at this. I really like I need to get a bigger trailer possibly next year. Now I'm not sure who I'm going to go with for it, but if a number of things line up for the business, such as I'm wanting to get a zero turn. Now with the zero turn, I know there's a whole load of pros and cons as to, you know, why I would get one or why I shouldn't get one, especially where I am here in Northern Ireland and our climate here for zero turns. You have to have the right kind of work for it to begin with, really, or to be able to get, if you're going to invest in a zero turn. Well, that's certainly my conclusion from the information that I've been trying to work out. So this year I have a concerted effort to really aim for some bigger commercial grass cutting jobs. Thankfully I've got a few friends who've been able to point me in the right direction, and I've been out quoting already today on a number of these. So if I can line all of that up, if that works out this year, then it lines it up, it sets the foundation for what's happening next year. Get a zero turn, couple other machines, and if I do that, the trailer that I have is going to become extremely tight. Now I've gone from a 7x4 to a 10x5, and now I'm considering going up as far as either from a 14x6 twin axle, possibly a 16x6, I don't know. It really depends on where the work is going with the business. So I've been kind of in here. This is all the trailer porn that I've been looking at here this morning. You know, it's just or this afternoon. Just absolutely, it's got me all excited. So I really like this one here. Is a 12x6 flatbed, mesh sides, tail ramp. I think that would be a good. I think that would be a good start for something like what I'd need. So this crowd here, they know that I do filming with my camera and my vlogging and things like that, so it'll make it into the video. They can see me. So I'll make it into the video today while I pick up my jockey wheel here that I need for the trailer. I'll tell you about that in another video.
Just as well as you turned out, she's hiding.
Is it hiding?
I was like, he's coming in here with that video.
Coming in for me jockey wheel.
Alright, you're still recording?
It's still recording, yeah.
Alright, okay.
I can mute it out though if you want.
Alright, okay, no, you don't need it.
Get a right zoom in there, Johnny. Oh.
That man steps on the street once more, screaming out, no longer I'm life's whore. See the smile on his face, then you'll forget all your hardest days. Sure, his beard's and bloody.
So it is, look at this, check out, nice big golden sunshine there. End of the day. Right, so I stopped off at my local dealers here, Maypole Lawnmower Centre, to get some supplies ordered for the new coming season. Look at that bloody. So need to get some weed killer cord. So it's pretty wet and miserable Wednesday. Looks like we got some of that English weather from over here. So I'm just heading into the local shopping centre here. Got to pick up a new pair of glasses. I lost my other ones and I went in, got an eye test and need new glasses anyway. So yeah, bloody miserable rainy weather. Wednesdays. Who loves this? So let's see. Have to get new glasses. Bet you never knew I wore glasses. Not bad, so they're not. I think I'm pleased with them, and Look at that. Nothing's blurry around the edges in the distance. Yeah, okay, on to the next one. Got some a couple of things to do today. Got some work to do. You'll maybe see some footage of that. It's going to be window cleaning today. It's just bucketing down rain. I've got a couple of quotations I've already done. I'm really trying to knuckle down on don't really need these on. Really trying to knuckle down on drumming up new business, and I'm looking at the bigger stuff, the commercial stuff. And so far, I think the pricing's been doing okay. I've got some other jobs that are coming next year that are lined up with that I've been pretty tight with some larger commercial places. I'm pretty tight with the management, but those contracts are ending, next year in May. And I wasn't tackling them before because I didn't have the infrastructure in the business to be able to cope with that kind of work. That workload would have taken twice as long, all that type of stuff. So next year, I definitely will be in a better place to tackle those. So yeah.
The longer I'm nice for, see the smile on his face, then you'll forget all your hardest days. Sure, his beard's some bloody grey, but that's the price that he has got to pay. Not throwing again, so anyone needs to striving to get his life so done. His age is just a number written black on white. No pity for him, his eyes are shining bright. Let him dance right here every night and day.
Alright, so today is Wednesday, and I am out working Wednesday afternoon, doing the windows on this property. You've seen it before. I've done a live video from here, I've posted pictures. I really love this place. I love working here. It might seem like a silly thing doing windows and kind of thinking, you're surrounded by offices, an old building, but it reminds me personally of a time when a person's skill mattered a lot, and it wasn't just a case of being able to do something simply, but a time when real craft and skill, talked about in a video before, sorry for the wind, about being a master of your trade. Did a video on that about 2 years ago, 3 years ago I think it was. And sorry, I'm just walking over here because I want to show you what I'm working right beside. It was one of those things where I was thinking, just get better at what you're doing, little bit by little bit, and you become much more skilled at it. You separate yourself from those who are just kind of the mow and blow, or the bucket bobs, or whatever you want to call them. But this is where I am right now. I'm looking down. This is the dry dock where the Titanic was. So I'm not going to go into a big touristy thing, but to be cleaning windows over there and working alongside this piece of history. This dock here was built specifically for the Titanic. So much history. And there's little old me, little old John Ryan, cleaning windows beside something that the world around knows all about, the Titanic. It is just absolutely fantastic to see. And the dock house, the pump house, the doors are closed, otherwise I'd go into the pump room and show you. It's pretty awesome. They used to have steam generators for the pumps, and now they got diesel ones back in the 50s I think it was. But it's really, really cool to be working along somewhere like this. And although it's cold today, it's quite cold, you can't beat that view. If you were in an office slugging your guts out for somebody else to line their pocket, I was driving past one of the civil servants' office buildings here, and they have big panes of glass from floor to ceiling, and where everyone is sitting at eye level and standing, the glass is frosted. They're not able to see out, and they're in such a lovely spot. It's like just in the rat race, working for other people. So today anyway, I was out canvassing first thing this morning, getting some parts this afternoon, and then working later this afternoon as well. Well, just after lunch. I'll call between 12, anything after 12 o'clock this afternoon, but it wasn't until about 1 o'clock I got here. So getting the windows cleaned, that's them done and dusted. So it's definitely worth taking the time to show you where I am. Titanic, pump house, and then this. I love this. I seen this whenever it was just neglected, sad looking ship. And it looks like it's not quite open to the public, but we'll walk over to it anyway so you can see. This is the HMS Caroline. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the last surviving World War I British Navy vessel. Look at her, nice and clean. New paint, new walkway around it. Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful ship. Look at that, from a time. Anyway, I know I'm getting all kind of sentimental about time and nostalgia. Look at that. That is just pure class. Selfie picture. Oh yeah. So, right. Blue skies. Sunlight. Let's see, can you get that? Beautiful golden sunset. But yeah, so this morning I had to go and get, yesterday I was in Indispension, picked up a jockey wheel. Turned out that what I actually needed was an entire new jockey, because the wheel on the other one was a lesser quality one. Well, it was a cheaper one, it wasn't really lesser quality. Well, I suppose it is. But it was... I'll explain to you in another video.
He's the oldest guy I've seen, but he dances like a king who's found his queen. A map of skies adorns his face, but he never fell from grace. That man steps on the street once more, screaming out, no longer I'm life's whore. See the smile on his face, then you'll forget all your hardest days. Sure, his beard's some bloody grey, but that's the price that he has got to pay. Not throwing again, so anyone needs to striving to get his last show done. His age is just a number written black on white. No pity for him, his eyes are shining bright. Let him dance right here every night and day. Down at O'Connor's, where time flies away.
So I know I've stopped off here. I think I've showed you guys this place here before. This is Titanic Studios, and what they have across the road is part of the set, obviously for the final season of Final Ever.
Getting dressed, not throwing a glance to anyone. He's just trying to get his last show done. His age is just a number written black on white. No pity for him, his eyes are shining bright. Let him dance right here every night and day. Down at O'Connor's, where time flies away.
Alright guys, it's Thursday and I'm heading out here for a bunch of jobs that I need to get done, and also quotations. The sun is shining, so I'm trying to take advantage of how a person mentally kind of receives, you know, the message that you're trying to give them, and a bit of sunshine goes a long way, I have found, whenever you're canvassing for commercial work. Just that they're kind of conscious of it. You know, sunshine reminds them that spring's coming and the grass is going to need cut very soon. With commercial work, it means then that they're not leaving it till last minute to try and find a better price or consider getting a new contractor or whatever, for whatever reason. For some of them anyway, I'm looking at more of the smaller businesses, not the big massive ones. So what I said I would do is I'd show you where I had an issue with my jockey wheel on my trailer. It was my fault. I didn't secure it enough, and so I was driving down the road, jockey wheel dropped and it busted the wheel. So here, I'll show you now. So it dropped down, and of course it was spinning around on the ground as I was driving along. So you can see that the rubber's become loose, and on the other side here, you should be able to see it better. Yeah, completely busted the wheel. So managed to get a new jockey wheel, and I'll show you that now. Hang on. And this is it. Now, can you see the difference? It's got a bolt, much more sturdier, heavy duty wheel itself. So if I do make the mistake of not securing my jockey wheel again, it drops down, it busts the wheel, and it's only £20 to replace the wheel. So we do make these mistakes. I don't mind holding my hand up and sharing it with you. And that was a pretty expensive jockey wheel all the same. I think that one's about £50. This one is working out, I think it retails about £70. And not that I paid £70, I'll be honest, just because I've got an account. But yeah, at least it's done and dusted, and trailer's all ready to rock and roll for the new season. So just going down here to speak to my mechanic, book in the van to get some brake pads done. Could do it myself, but I can't be bothered. Could drop off the van, get it done. I can actually get some other work done, paperwork, chasing up a few things, and get some quotations organised. So it's the end of the vlog, end of the week. Going to wrap up on a few things. This week's vlog wasn't very exciting, I do apologise. I'm not sure exactly what I'll get footage of next week, but the week after I'll be heading out and getting some new mowers and things like that. So about 2 weeks time is going to be a little bit more exciting. That next week I've got a fair bit of work to get through just to make sure I keep on schedule. And I really want the ground to dry up a bit, because it's just a little bit too wet. I mean, like, there's a lot of ground that's just absolutely saturated. But anyway, so this week has been an interesting week for me. Business had some very positive outcomes of some avenues that I was searching down. For the first time in 2 years, I decided I would go out canvassing. Previously, before, I'd been kind of wanting to make sure I set up systems in place to make sure that people were ringing me rather than me going looking for work, and that's been working great. Been getting some commercial work, some of the bigger stuff through the website. It's not all that often, and that's absolutely fine. I get a lot of regular residential stuff through Facebook and things like that. But I want to grow certain aspects of the business down some of the commercial route. And the only way that that's going to happen is if I physically go out, speaking to people and organising quotations and meetings and things like that. So this week has been one of those kind of, there's been a number of moments where I've actually gone and done a lot of follow-ups to that, to leads that I've had and things like that. Now, an interesting thing for me is that with my business, obviously I offer a couple of different services. In the past, there's been people who have said that, if you're not just a gardener, you're a jack of all trades. And that's absolutely fine. People are entitled to their opinions. It used to bother me, a couple of years back or whatever, but now it doesn't, because the strategies I have in place for my business have turned very, very profitable, and kind of very rewarding avenues. So to give you an example, this week, with a number of the quotations that I was out getting, I was out pricing for grass cutting, but equally so, they also wanted window cleaning prices, and they also wanted pressure washing prices throughout the year. And so this has been great. So because I've got those kind of services as part of my business, means that as a solo operator, other people who are in the same sector as me, just doing grass cutting, can't contend for this type of work because they don't have the infrastructure. And the ones who are contending for this type of work are big companies. So I'm kind of focused on some of the more local businesses, ones that aren't kind of big names that are situated in multiple properties throughout the country, because generally you'll find that those are all kind of centralized through those big companies like facility management companies. They offer window cleaning services, they offer grass cutting, ground maintenance, pressure washing, you know, but they're all into different divisions of teams. So I'm kind of like entering that smaller end, the lower end of that market of what I'm able to cope with, and it's worked out pretty good. So I managed to secure a number of jobs this week, and it's been really exciting, really exciting, and I still have a fair list of companies to go through that are between here and Belfast that I want to try and tackle for some of this commercial work, and then that lines up or lays the foundation for what I want to achieve in 2019. Now, if it turns out to be more successful than I had hoped this year, I might have to reassess some of my my plans for this year. I might have to make an investment into some bigger mowers, maybe a zero turn or something like that this year. I have ordered my zero turn for next year, but if the work comes in too much so this year, then I'll probably purchase the zero turn early. But what I want to kind of do is I want to take what I have at the moment to its maximum capacity of what it's able to cope with, and if it exceeds that, then that's where I'll have to make that decision. So it's exciting times, and it's very rewarding, and it's all good profit. It's all good cash flow throughout the year as well, 12 months of the year. Some of these commercial contracts want grass cut at least once a month throughout the winter. So it's 12 months of the year grass cutting is what they want, just purely because they want their property looking nice, sharp and clean for their customers. And one of the contracts that I secured this week as well, turns out that they have 17 other properties, and he was delighted with the pricing that I did. I'm delighted with the pricing. I think I hit it bang on the nail on the head. So it's not too low, but it's not too high. It come in just at a decent price for him. So hopefully that might open the door then for other branches of their properties if they have other. Hopefully they got grass cutting as well, but I'll have to double check and see what kind of properties they got, and if I can, then I'll push that with my new customer in about a month or so's time. But anyway, listen, that's it for the week. Thank you very much. I know this little bit end here kind of waffled on for about 5-6 minutes. Appreciate you all taking the time to watch. Very hard to follow on from last week doing the meetup in Wincanton, but yeah, so that's just the story. And I should have this phone on a selfie stick because my arm is killing me now holding the phone for this long. Alright, so I will see you guys next week. Here's a little picture from Lawn Care Legends. Somebody posted up, it looked like me in the Winter Olympics, so that's why that's up there. And a big shout out to Paul Farmer for poking me in that one or tagging me in that one on Facebook. Alright guys, thanks very much, and I'll see you next week.